Helldivers 2 is on fire right now, and I don't mean in a good way. I mean its ratings are plummeting, and its player count is dropping drastically and quickly. So I know you're asking yourself, well, what happened? This was like game of the year. People were non-stop praising it. How did it go literally overnight from one of the most beloved games to mostly negative, and half, if not 75% of the player base quitting and leaving? Well, it all has to do with this announcement you see here. They announced that you will require Steam players to link a PlayStation Network account to be able to play. Now, I know your immediate thought is, well, so what? If you want to play Sea of Thieves on PlayStation, you have to have a Microsoft account. When you want to sign up for Minecraft at certain points, you had to have a Mojang account or Microsoft account. We all know about Bethesda launchers, about the Ubisoft launchers, about the EA launchers. Like, that's just a normal part of gaming in modern day gaming, right? And at first glance, you would be right. I mean, it's a free account, you just have to sign up, it'll take you like 2 minutes and you'll be able to play the game again. So why is this causing people again to leave in mass droves? Look at these stats. There's a few reasons for that. The number one is the one I think that a lot of people don't recognize because it may not affect them, and that is that the PlayStation Network PSN login does not work across the world. So as you can see by this here, it's just kind of some rough estimates. 69 out of 190 countries can use the PlayStation Network. What this means is that if you're not in one of those countries, you cannot continue to play the game. And a lot of people say, oh, well, there's an easy solution to that. All you have to do is install a VPN and just set up a PlayStation account from a different country and you're okay. People are allegedly already saying they've been banned for this. So what this is creating is a situation where people have purchased this game and they're no longer going to be able to play the game. Now, there is talks of class action lawsuits and, people getting refunded, but ultimately that's not what people want, right? As I said at the beginning of this video, this is game of the year material. This is one of the best games to come out in a long time. So to lose access to it, doesn't matter if you get your money back. Like, yeah, that you should get your money back if you can't play it anymore. But at the same time, like, you want to play the game, not just have your money back, right? Now that's just issue number one. There's a few other issues that have been popping up with this whole drama, controversy issue, whatever you want to call it. The second set of issues comes from this man here named Spitz, who's a community manager for Arrowhead, who has been allegedly antagonizing people. You've probably seen the clip from Pirate Software where he's calling it just completely unacceptable. Essentially, he's out there just telling people, if you don't like it, refund the game, leave a negative review, there's nothing we can do about it. What, you're quitting? Well then quit, leave. I thought you were already leaving. Like, just really, really tone-deaf community management in this time where obviously the community's on fire. Problem number three, I'll throw up a little shot here, is Sony requires in some places that you use a facial scan, that you have to take a picture of your face as well as your driver's license or ID or passport to send into them to verify your account. Now, I believe that's due to some EU laws, so it's not everywhere, but there are some places where that's required. And obviously that in itself is a concern, having to send your data into a company like that just to be able to play. Obviously that's bad, but there's also not a lot of trust in Sony because of data breaches. It's hard to get an exact number because some people are doing like this copy pasta where they're saying there's been 14 data breaches over the last 10 years. Other people are saying that's AI generated nonsense and that there's only been 1 or 2 data breaches. The fact of the matter is that we know that there have been data breaches. We know that they have lost sensitive data. And if you're putting up your passport photo along with other essential pieces of ID, you want to know that your data is going to be secure. And that just does not seem to be the case here. And obviously that's upsetting to a lot of people who, again, want to play the game. They have the ability to play the game. We've been playing the game for 3 months without this, and now they just want to add it on and require all this information that obviously isn't required for the game to function. And another part of all this put together is with certain players not able to play the game anymore, people are saying, oh, well, I'm not one of those affected, so how does it impact me? Well, it does impact you. There's a lot of people who will no longer be able to play with their friends or people that they've met through the game. They've forged these relationships, they've been having a good time, and now that person's just no longer able to play. That's impacting quite a few people, but we can already see this is impacting gameplay. our major order right now to quell the planets with all the fogger machines was going super well, and then after this controversy yesterday, we've actually started to lose the fight. Like, this could alter the in-game lore and the lore of the entire universe altogether. Like, it's that far-reaching. Now, there have been some tweets and some internal discords that have been coming out from Arrowhead Studios who've been saying that they're very displeased with this change as well, and they do not want it. It seems to be clear that they are saying this is Sony forcing this to happen, and that if you have fault with this or issue with this, you need to take it up with Sony and not Arrowhead Studios. And I do believe that to be true. I believe that Arrowhead Studios is just the developer while Sony is the publisher, and ultimately the publisher has a lot of rights to put things like this in their game, which is why they're saying, hey, go to Sony if you have a problem with that. We can't do anything about it. Now, they are trying to do something about it. They are in talks. They said they are looking for solutions. They are doing everything in their power. Again, this is what they are saying, but it's the weekend now. This happened on a Friday, so we're probably not going to hear anything until Monday or Tuesday, and at that point the damage might already be permanently done. So what can you do about this? There's some people who are calling for just a general boycott, just don't play the game anymore, stand with the other Helldivers who are unable to play. There's people who are saying, you know, review bomb on Steam, put bad reviews everywhere you can, on Metacritic, on Steam, anywhere else that'll accept a review. Let people know what's going on. I, of course, am doing my part by trying to make a video that's educating people about everything that's going on with this. But it's hard to say what will or will not be effective. There's quite a few people who have said that Sony has been very unwilling to budge on issues like this in the past, that even if it destroys the game, they've already got their payday, so are they really going to be too concerned about it? Only time will tell. Again, we probably won't know anything until Monday or Tuesday. By then, a lot of players might have already left, and it might be too late to get those players back, as well as this is impacting future sales, right? There are people who were on the fence about playing this game who are like, well, I'm not playing this game now. Why would you? It's mostly negative. That deeply impacts people. I know I personally, when I go to buy a game, if it's got a mostly negative rating, that's pretty much guaranteed I will not touch that game, because obviously there's something wrong with it. So there you go. That is the controversy in a nutshell in under 10 minutes. Do your part, do what you think is right, and hopefully this gets resolved and we can all just go back to helldiving and having fun in what still I think is Game of the Year.